Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. And for today's video we will go in depth with Holia, the MILF, the hot mom, the hot lady or whatever. I'm not really sure if she is a mom actually, so who knows. Well, first up, let's take a look at her design. On her 7 stars here, she looks kinda pale and bluish, but after she met me and she became an Omni unit, she actually became a real woman. Well, all jokes aside, I'm pretty sure this got to do something with her lore later on. I'll show you guys that as well. But as for her design, her 7 stars look, I really kinda hated the pale looking color on her skin, but the weapon and everything else, they are really good. On her Omni form, she looks much hotter than her 7 stars look, especially because the vibrant colors on everything, her skin, her bluish gown, her melons, and the horns up there on the head, and the weapon looks really well balanced here. I'm not really sure what those pointy things on the skirt there, that 2 pointy things, they might be nukes to nuke you guys if you ever got close to her and hurt her feelings. I'm not really sure what that is, but I think the design here kind of works. Okay, now let's check out her lore. Alright, this is the 7 stars lore for her. You guys can pause the video if you want to read all of them. So for now, I'll just scroll it down and you can see the animation for the idol and attacking one. So she's actually a demon, huh? Alright, let's take a look on the Omni evolution lore after this. Alright, this is the Omni lore for her. Blah 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 blah. I'll read this for myself after this, but yeah, pause the video if you guys want to read the whole thing here. Next up is her evolution material. So okay, all the materials are the same as her badge, so Lauda and MILF. You just need to change the element of the evolution material. And lastly, luckily, there's no legend stone involved on her evolution material. So this is much easier to evolve than the ones that are going to need those legend stones. So okay, evolution material, pretty easy. And now let's take a look at her stats on the Lord Anima Breaker Guardian Oracle and her Max Imp. As I said before, every time, type never really matters, but of course Anima looks really good here since the HP is the highest from all of them, so it's always the desired type for every unit. For Holia, even if you have Breaker, the defense is still pretty high, so it's okay. And the Guardian, the defense is high and no cut to the attack, so it's also fine. Oracles doesn't look so bad as well, so any type for her will do. However, if you got a Breaker, if you feel the defense is pretty low for you, not to worry at all, because her Max Imp on the defense here is really high, so any type will do, even Breaker will do. A little low on attack, but I don't think it matters at all. So yep, pretty balanced for the whole thing. And now let's check her animation in game. So BB, SBB, and UBB. First up, let's try her Brave Burst. A lot of pauses, but most likely this is gonna be easier to spark since MILF has the same kind of pausing animation like this, but in the end MILF is still good for sparking, so I don't think it really matters that much. Now let's check out her SBB. 19 hits. Okay, there seems to be a bit of pause, but every time she does the hits, it's all packed up in one, so I don't think it's gonna be hard to spark with her. again. And now her UBB. Pretty much the same. It takes a bit longer time to complete. But yeah, I think in the end the sparking with her is still going to be easier, much more easier than those of global units. And now her kits on the skills. So normal hits, leader skill, extra skill, blah blah blah. So first of all, normal hits is at 11 hits with 4 BC per hit, not bad. And leader skill here, I really like the leader skill here since it has the highest, the same as Juno Seto's max HP boost, which is 60%. But Juno Seto requires you to spend some SP on the enhancement to get the same 60% boost to 8 HP. So this one's really good. And the next thing is the boost to attack, defense, recovery relative to remaining HP. I really like this since it will be boosting your damage and survivability by a lot. And it will adjust itself according to the HP remaining. So it is really good. So if you get that damage down really slowly, you will still get the toughness that she is going to offer from her leader skill. So this is really good. The HOT will be handy in some cases, especially on things that has a lot of DOT effects on the fight. So it's pretty good, but not really vital. And the last one here is the most useful thing out of her leader skill. So 15% damage reduction from fire and water types. So Fargas's, Advanced Grand Gaia Chronicles. This one's really good. Could also be useful for breaking barriers if you have trouble with Owen's damage. And what else? Carl's, the one that has that Gratens as boss, but I forgot the name of it. So okay, the leader skill is a bit situational, but when you need to have those kind of effects, this one will be really good. Now extra skill, I'm not really sure how this works. I still have not tried her yet. On the extra skill here, she has a 10% boost to all parameters. And from what I heard, I think this is a buff for the whole party. So in total, you will have a 70% boost to almost everything. So this is really nice. And the next thing here is really good, especially for Colosseum, Arenas, and Lucius. She has a resistance against 2 KO attacks, so twice Angel Idol, but the chance here, it will not be proc every time, but it has a really decent proc chance, which is at 40%. So extra skill, if the 10% boost is for the whole squad, and Angel Idol, both of them, these are really nice. Now Brave First and Super Brave First. Let's start with Brave First first. So okay, she has a boost to max HP, restores HP gradually, which is HOT, and a buff that can give you an Angel Idol effect with only a 10% chance on applying. It's not bad, but it's not dependable. But if you got the effects here, it's going to be really useful. It's actually pretty good. And also a heal. So yep, I think this is going to be good, and especially for Colosseum. And now Super Brave Burst, 19 hits, okay, AoE, not bad. She also has an HOT effect here, which is really good. Recovery boost relative to max HP. Well, I know a lot of you guys, especially me or Ushid, we all does not really care about recovery, but sometimes it really is helpful. Sometimes, but only sometimes. Well, in cases where you don't have to bring a healer, so only HOT or HC drop buffer, recovery is gonna be really good, and it can be sometimes a substitute for a healer unit, so it's actually okay. And I think the one that makes her really special is this one. Negate critical and elemental damage buff for 1 turn. This is going to be a lot useful for everything. And also the negate attack, defense, recovery, reduction effects for 1 turn. This is really good, extremely good, especially if you don't have Lara or Arc yet. So now we have a variety of choices for the critical damage and elemental damage negation thing. And one more thing, if you don't have Hisui, this one can be used as well. Okay, Ultimate Brave Burst, 22 massive water attack. Okay, nice. Hugely boosts max HP. The boost here is at 35%, which is really good. And she can give you an Angel Idol effect buff from this UBB, which has the chance on applying by 80%. That is huge. And I think this can be useful in a lot of situations, so this is pretty good. Fully restores HP. Okay, not bad. Negates critical and elemental damage for 3 turns. This is really nice. This is really nice. And the same thing as her SBB, negates attack, defense, recovery, reduction for 3 turns this time. It's going to be really helpful, but I think if I can get her SBB full most of the time, I'm not going to use this UBB. And so far, yep, she is pretty good. So if you don't have Lara and you don't have Hisui, but you have Holia, you can fill their slots with her and fill the other slots that you needed with other units. Now let's take a look at her enhancements. So alright, if you take a look here, this is the only thing that makes me really confused, because most of her enhancements are really good. I love everything about it, but I can tell you guys that there are 2 enhancements that I think are bad, so you guys might want to avoid these at all costs. Well, the first thing is this one, the 10 skill points one, which will turn the HOT effect into the start of the turn, which is really bad in my opinion, since most of the time when you needed the heal over time, it's to counter the things like DOT and everything else, and you really need them to proc at the end of the turn. So if you got a DOT effect debuff on you and you turn this HOT into the start of the turn, you will still die. So no, avoid this one at all costs. Well, it can be useful in some situations, but no, I still think it's useless. And the next one here is the 40 skill points. I don't really like this one. It will only boost your HP buff, the one on the BB by 5% and the UBB also by 5%. So 20% max HP and 40% max HP. 5% is not going to be really that great. And on most of the trials, Grand Gaia Chronicles, Grand Quest, there are a lot of ultimate attacks that deals damage based on your maximum HP. So this is kinda useless at most points. So no, I will never suggest you guys to take these 2. But the rest of them are really good. Okay, now I think that's all about her, and let's take a look at her builds. Okay, build number 1 here, and I think I will take this one after this. So I will take both the HP boost, so I will have 50% boost to my max HP. And the next thing I want to take is the enhanced HOT. Her HOT is actually pretty good already, but I think since I don't really like the others and I don't want to take the fire, water, thunder, earth elements on this one, so I will take the HOT enhanced. So I just want to make Holia my best HOT buffer for now. And I will also want to take the enhanced leader skill to make my squad tougher than ever. And I think the next one here for 30 SP, this one's a must take for her. This one will have her have a Fire and water elemental damage reduction buff. This is really useful for a lot of things. So yeah, that's already 100 skill points spent. That is my build number 1. Now this is build number 2. I will leave a bit of points so you guys can freely spend them on the things you want. So the first thing you want to take is the 30% boost to max HP. And the next thing to take is if you still want to use Krantz or Sirius in your squad, which has that light and dark element buff, you will want to take this one for 20 skill points, which will add the remaining 4 elements you need. So you will still have that 6 elemental buff in whole. The next thing to take is of course the leader skill enhancement. This is really useful, I think. And of course the 30 skill points for the fire and water elemental damage reduction. That is going to be really useful. And now you only have 20 skill points left to spend. You can either take the 50% HP boost, but by then you will still have that 10 skill points remaining, which I think doesn't really matter. Or you can take the other options for 20 skill points, or maybe even skip the HP boost at all and just take the anti-status enhancement. Well, I really think that that's not gonna happen, since I think you guys already have a lot of better anti-debuff units. So okay, now my thoughts on this unit. I think this unit is really good. She will be really useful for a lot of things, especially if you don't have Hisui, you don't have Lara, or even when you don't have Juno Seto. I think Holia here has a lot of things that they offer packed into one unit. So the elemental damage reduction, critical damage negation, attack defense recovery, reduction effects negation, heal, HOT, angel idol, and she can be much more useful after the enhancements are taken. So if you need that for elemental buff, you can take it for her. And if you need further damage reduction from fire and water, you can also take that from the enhancements. So combine it with the leader skill and the buff from the enhancement. It's going to be a lot of damage reduction. If you only have a cure debuff unit and you really need that anti-status or anti-debuff unit, you can also take that option from the enhancements. And I guess that's it. This unit's really good. Aside from her really hot melons, hot looks, hot everything, I really like how she looks. This unit will help you through a lot of contents. So I guess that's all. Press that like button, guys, if you enjoyed this video, and you can also share this with your friends. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel by pressing that like button, I mean fun button over there, and join the fun train. And that's all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Chill.